What's up, world? This is Real Talk about real business, a podcast featuring a different guest each episode. Join me as we are given the opportunity to hear their story, the battles they face, the obstacles they've overcome, the losses they've incurred, the lessons they've learned, the memories they've made, the lives they've touched, the wins they've had, the opportunities yet to present themselves. Who am I? My name is Mason, and for the past decade, I've been grinding and hustling on a level you would understand. I've sold everything, from candy bars to big screens. I own the #1 electronics store in Las Vegas called Best Deal in Town. It has been my primary focus and my pride and joy for the last 6 years. It's given me opportunities I never would have thought it was possible. It's introduced me to people I never thought I would know. I don't have all the answers. In fact, I have very, very few. But what I do have are a ton of questions. And that's my story. Join me as we talk with real people who have really done it, with real hardships and real success. Despite all the odds, despite all the naysayers, all the constant negativity, and the ever-mounting uncertainty that we are faced with every single day. This is their story on Real Talk. What is up, world? It is Mason with Business Breakdown, and today we have another episode of Real Talk. My guest today has put in the work. He played D1 football at Rice University, where he also notched up 3 academic degrees. He's been competing and coaching in the world of fitness and CrossFit for almost a decade. He's had numerous top finishes, including a first-place finish at the 2014 Dubai Fitness Championship and winning his region in the 2014 CrossFit Open. A man who has battled back time and time again to overcome injury. One of the most valuable fitness content creators out there with a no BS approach and a get shit done mentality. He's the creator of True Strength Programming, someone I hope to call my friend at the end of this episode. And coming to us all the way from Dubai, it's Tanner Shupp. Tanner, thank you so much for joining us today, man.
Mason, thank you so much for having me on. I'm honored, and that was probably the best introduction that anyone has ever said any about me, man. I'm super impressed you did your research on me, man. I'm humbled and I'm honored. Thank you.
Yeah, well, I mean, someone put that info out there for me to find, so someone else thought you were pretty valuable to even put that out there. So
yeah, I suppose so, man.
Hey, man. So let's knock out one elephant in the room. It's where I'm at in Las Vegas, 9:30 a.m.
Yes.
Where are you at? What time is it?
So I'm in Dubai, the United Arab Emirates, and it's 8:36 p.m. So yeah, I'm about 11 hours ahead of you.
We've been playing like Instagram messaging tag.
Yeah.
And it's just, I know it's like nighttime for him. It'll be morning for me. I know he's training. I'm training. It's been crazy, but I'm glad we finally got to sit down and do this. I'm super pumped. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what you're doing right now, kind of what your current pursuit is, your current mindset, and then we'll work backwards from there. And hear a little bit how you got to where you're at right now. So tell us what you're doing in Dubai and what's going on, man.
All right. So as you said, I'm based in Dubai, and what I'm doing right now is I'm trying to build, I guess, an online presence or an online business per se, coaching business. I do a lot of like online personalized programming, and also I'm building, strength programs or training programs that really anyone can do. And so I'm basically just trying to get myself out there, put myself out there, and help as many people as possible, through, I guess, online training. Just I've done a lot of in-person training and coaching, and that's great, and I love it. But I really genuinely want to help as many people as I can and make as big of a impact as possible. And when you're coaching in person, you're kind of limited to helping only those, in that building, if that makes sense. So,
and you can only talk to one person at a time, right?
Yeah, absolutely, man. And so in this day and age, man, the internet is an amazing thing, and it really allows you to get your message out there. So I really just kind of want to harness the power of the internet, and deliver my message and help more people. And
I
so
mean,
that's kind of what I'm focused on right now.
so so why Dubai?
So that'll long story short, I'm obviously American. I moved out of the United States in 2012 to pursue CrossFit coaching or training CrossFit because I was really into it. And I knew if I wanted to compete at the CrossFit Games, if I competed out of the Asia region, I would have a better chance of making it. And it was my first year doing it. So I moved to the Philippines where my dad was living. And so lived with my dad after college, competed in the CrossFit regional. I almost made it to the games my first year, just one costly mistake in a workout, but that's another story. After spending a year in the Philippines coaching CrossFit, I then moved to Dubai because there was the Dubai CrossFit Championship. It's like the second biggest fitness competition in the world,
Yeah.
second to the CrossFit Games. And so I did that in 2013. I got third place in that. Just my first year into CrossFit, I got third place in it. And then that led to a job opportunity in Dubai coaching CrossFit at a gym. So I took that job as a CrossFit coach in Dubai. That's what got me to Dubai. And that happened in late 2013. And then I've been out here since. Just I'm kind of established out here. I love living out here. It's just it's a really good life.
Dude,
So that's kind of where I'm at.
everyone always harps on me about like how I don't travel or ever take vacations. And I always said like if I'm gonna go somewhere, it's gonna be like awesome and crazy. And I've always said I want to go to Dubai. I just see all these pictures and these videos. I'm like, that place looks like
Man,
it looks magic.
it
Like I don't
honestly, it is like I still find myself going around places, and Dubai is actually not that big, so it's really easy to like kind of learn your way around. But even still to this day, I'll be walking around with my girlfriend, like in downtown, looking at the tallest building in the world, or I'll be walking down in the marina on the beach, and you just have this incredible skyline of all these amazing looking buildings. And dude, it is a really cool place to live. It's hot here half the year, but the other half of the year, the weather's amazing. So,
is so
dude, it's good.
are you like in the minority as far as like being like an American or like
Yeah,
like
yeah. There are Americans out here, but I wish there was more. There's a whole lot of English people, British people,
oh okay
and
okay
which is it's good. But Dubai is a very diverse place, man. There's people from all walks of life,
really okay
all over the world. It's kind of a very transient place. People are always coming and going.
that's how Vegas is yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it's Dubai's been really good to me, and I love it here, and I really couldn't imagine living anywhere else, at least not right now.
Yeah, no, that's crazy. So tell us a little bit about your background as far as like how you even got into CrossFit.
Sure,
What was
I'll
your
I'll
lead up there?
I'll keep that pretty quick too. So I come from like an American football background. I say American football because I live in Dubai. People don't know what American football is, but so I come from a football background. So I played in college, and then once I was finished playing college football, like I wanted to go pro. I wanted to go to the NFL. Obviously, that didn't work out. That's extremely hard. But I knew that I just wasn't cut out for a suit and tie job ever, and so I just kind of followed my heart and just kind of went with my gut instinct. I was
Which
like,
is odd because you have I saw on your profile you have two majors and a minor, but
yeah, yeah.
didn't want to use that degree in a suit and tie fashion, which is
No, man. So to be honest, like I'm lucky. I'm really lucky because I think I knew myself well enough to know that, you know, I was able to not have all the external pressure, I guess, get to me to, like once you graduate college, you got to go get a good job and try to, earn a lot of money, and I just didn't want to do that, man. I just knew I wasn't going to be happy. And
awesome.
all I wanted to do was like continue training and working out. And then I discovered CrossFit and figured out, wow, you can actually compete at this, and you can make money. I'm like, fuck, I'm in, bro. Let's do it. And so then I really just like became obsessed with that, just training and working out and trying to be as fit as I possibly can.
And was this while you were playing football?
This was like right after I finished playing football. Like I discovered CrossFit kind of the tail end of my senior year of college football.
And I knew, like, when I saw CrossFit for the first time on television, it was on ESPN. I just was like, all right, if football doesn't pan out, this is what I'm doing no matter what. Like, I knew instantly. So,
You got the Iron Owl Award your senior year.
man, you really researched me, didn't you?
I
Wow.
do my homework, homie. I do
Yeah,
my
yeah, for
homework.
sure, dude.
So
That's
was
that's
that a part of
crazy.
was that a part of your of like the cross like the you said it was the latter
No,
part of your senior year? Do you think was
yeah,
that CrossFit played a
no,
part of that?
that was completely different, man. So
Which for
I
anybody who
have
doesn't know, the Iron Owl Award is the basically the
so
hardest working mother effer in the gym, right?
yeah, basically, it's basically the hardest working student athlete at the school, at the university.
Oh,
And
that's not just for your team. That's for
no, that was for all sports, actually, for all sports.
okay. All
So
right.
I just, I've always been like a weight room guy, man. I've always loved it. Like, I grew up in a gym. My dad built me a gym when I was a kid. Like, I started training when I was like 7 years old. So it's like just always been in me, and I've always just loved training. It's been my like passion. So that's kind of it was that was really helpful. And yeah, I won that award back in college, and I just knew I loved training, and CrossFit, kind of provided me an outlet to do that. And so I just basically jumped on that opportunity.
Dude, that's awesome. So when did you make the transition into kind of like coaching at a CrossFit gym to kind of branching out to
Yeah.
doing your online coaching and
Dude,
what
that's
true
that's
strength?
another good question. Yeah, and I can definitely talk about that. So, I coached CrossFit from basically 2013 all the way to 2019, and I did lots of coaching. I've coached thousands of classes.
Did so much stuff. So I just kind of really became a little bit disenchanted with coaching and personal training, because I just knew I wasn't helping enough people. And, I was just kind of going through the motions of coaching. And I had kind of maximized, I guess, my income, professionally, because you can only do so many PTs in a day
Right.
and all this kind of stuff and coach so many classes and still train. So I decided to I quit my job, honestly. I quit my job, and that was like a huge step for me.
Like as like a full
Yeah,
time CrossFit coach.
I stopped, man. Like, I was making a pretty decent income as a CrossFit coach, and I wasn't happy though. I wasn't fulfilled because I knew that I had basically done everything I could, um, as a CrossFit coach per se, and I wasn't growing professionally, and I just wasn't happy. And so I quit, and then I just kind of like went all in. I was like, man, if I'm ever gonna grow, I need to change what I'm doing, and I can't be stuck in a gym all day just coaching classes. And
But
so,
that's a fitness mentality, man. Like you hit a plateau, you got to change it up.
yeah, no, for sure. And dude, there's absolutely nothing wrong with, coaching CrossFit like that. And it's a great place to start. That's how I got my start. And I got everything out of it that I could. And I learned a lot, and I got a lot of valuable experience from coaching CrossFit, and doing a lot of personal training. But at some point I was just like, kind of like I said, I wasn't fulfilled, and I wanted to make a bigger impact. And
Yeah.
so I quit my job, and that was kind of risky, but luckily I had a pretty good list of like personal training clients I could rely on. And that's really kind of helped. That was like a transitional phase for me that I went through in 2019. And I just got by purely with personal training, and I started making more money,
What was
quite
what was the
gradually.
hardest part of that though? Because like, it couldn't have been just like quit my
No,
job, everything, and everything was awesome the next day.
no,
Like
bro, it wasn't
like
like that. And like, honestly, I contemplated quitting my job for like probably 6 months. I probably stayed in my job like 6 months too long. And that was really just fear, because a fear of the unknown, like quitting and like, what am I going to do, man? I'm not going to have a steady salary every month. And how am I going to pay my bills and all this kind of stuff? But eventually, like, the discomfort from that fear, uh, was less than my unhappiness of staying in that job, if that makes sense. And I was just like,
absolutely, yeah.
fuck it, man. Like, if I never change my behavior and never change what I'm doing, I'm never gonna get to my next goal and what I wanted to do. I wasn't gonna be happy. So that's what really forced me to do it, man. And I took some calculated risks for sure.
So
but
like
it was the best decision, one of the best decisions I've ever made.
in that transition period where you actually quit your job and then to where you're at kind of now where like things are rolling a little bit better for you. What was like the
Yeah.
hardest or one of the hardest times where like did you ever have anything where like like you lost a bunch of clients in 1 week or like you just the money just wasn't coming in right and you're like, do I have to go
Yeah.
back to coaching? Like
Man, I was lucky. Luckily, that never happened. But believe me, I had fear. I had that fear go through my head before I quit my job. I was like, man, what if my clients don't follow me? What if they don't come with me? And at that time, I had only been in one gym in Dubai. I'd been in the same CrossFit gym because I was just like, I'm very what's the word, man?
creature of habit.
Yeah, that, and very, like, I guess, insular. Like, I'm very keep to myself. I'm not really worried about what's going on with anyone or what else anyone's. So I didn't really go out and Dubai a lot, and I would never go train at other gyms or anything like that. I just always kept to myself. So I didn't really know what else was out there because I kind of kept myself in the same four walls of one gym. But once I like got out and discovered what else is out there, I was like, wow, man, I should have done this so much sooner. And
so your biggest thing was almost regret that you didn't do it quicker.
Yeah, for sure that I didn't leave that job quicker. And it was a great job, and I ended it well, but I just needed to grow, man. I wasn't happy anymore, and it allowed me to really pursue my interests without, I guess, conflicting. Because the job I had, I was the head CrossFit coach. I was the head trainer at that gym, and like I was the man, if more or less.
Yeah.
I knew, like, if I'm always working for someone, that I'm never going to be really happy, and I'm never going to like be able to build something that I own or that I'm proud of, or my own brand or my own thing, so I had to leave.
And anybody else, I would imagine the guy who actually owns that place he sees the potential that you have and everything you have, and he knows you can do it all yourself. And at a certain point, Tanner's gonna go.
Yeah, no, he knew that, and like we ended amicably, and I stayed at that gym for almost 6 years.
Wow.
And I built it up, and it's still, the gym's still going, and everything's all good. But
and you got a bunch of you said you got a bunch of your clients to follow you as well. When
sure.
So that's a testament to your.
That was in 2019. Yeah, wow. No, I was lucky, and then so now we're in 2021, and I had a lot more clients, and I've been fortunate that I've actually stopped doing a lot of personal training now. Like, I really only do like 1 or 2 PT sessions. Actually, probably like 3 to 5 PT sessions a week. I don't even do 1 PT session a day anymore.
Oh, so most of what you do is like physical therapy. It's not actual like.
No. Sorry. When I say PT, I mean personal training.
Okay. Sorry.
Bro, I think physical therapy too. Don't worry.
Okay.
So I only do like 1 personal training session, or like 3 to 5 personal training sessions a week now. Like, I don't even do them every day anymore. And that's purely by choice. I do it just because I've had clients that I've had for like 6 or 7 years, and I still have a really hard time saying no to them because they've been so good to me.
Shout out to those people.
Yeah, for sure, man. I love some of my clients. They're more like my friends, but I'm trying to transition out of personal training entirely eventually. That's kind of my goal. So getting there slowly but surely.
Yeah. So, and you've built up quite the repertoire of like online programming and stuff. For anyone who doesn't know, tell us about your website, True Strength. Sure. Tell us about all the different stuff you have going on there.
I really appreciate you letting me plug it, Mason. So, dude, I've really built up my own website purely on my own. I've made
Did you build that yourself?
So my first one I did, and it was pretty shit. And then the second one, I had like a website designer help me, and I'm still kind of refining it and getting it better. But
it looks awesome. I love it. The interface is really nice.
Much appreciated. My website is truestrength.co. And so that's my brand, True Strength. And through that, I've offered quite a few different training programs. I have a strength program that's really popular, that's like, kind of booming, and that's like probably my number one thing right now. But I also have like a dumbbells program, a bodyweight program, and a competitive CrossFit program. So I do have a little bit of everything, man. Like,
I like the one called Pump and a Half. Just the name.
Jacked and a
Or
half.
Jacked and a half. Yeah.
Jacked
Just
and
the
a half.
name. Like, I'm like, that alone is like you guys just go get that just for the name.
I need to turn that into a program too. I probably will soon. That's actually an ebook, but I thought of that one day, just like leaving the gym. And I was like, dude, you can get such an amazing workout in only half an hour. You can get so jacked in half an hour if you want. I was like, jacked and a half.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, I'm going to call this ebook Jacked and a Half. It's like 30 workouts that you can just like get jacked as fuck, in 30 minutes. And you really can if you're willing to put in the work. But yeah, that was, I'm glad you appreciated that. Man.
No, yeah, that was hilarious. Cool. And like, it's cool. I mean, you're real open on there too. Like, you gotta have a 30-day money back guarantee. You're like, hey, like, your stuff works. And once they see it, like,
no, dude, I'm not telling people to do anything that I haven't done. I promise you that. And I know it works. And if you're willing to put in the work, you're going to get great results. And I mean, if you're not happy with it, dude, I'm not really in this to make money. I mean, obviously at the end of the day, that's a goal, but dude, if people want their money back, I'm going to give them their money back. I'm never, ever going to do that. Also, I give a money back guarantee with everything. And I've done it before. So it's the best way.
Yeah. And if you know your stuff's good, then like, you don't worry. Yeah, there's always going to be someone out there trying to hustle you for a free program or whatever. Like, cool, dude. Sure. Cool.
But dude, I've honestly given, like, I haven't been asked to give refunds like hardly ever. I can probably count the number of times on one hand.
I like the comment, and you're like for anything. I mean, if you don't like the fact that I don't wear a shirt in my demo videos, you can have your money back. I'm like, yeah, this guy's like legit, man.
Yeah, no, thanks, man. I appreciate you read all my copy. That's dude, I appreciate that. So did you just find me through Instagram, Mason?
Dude, okay. I have no idea. I feel like someone showed me a video of you or something, and I was like, oh, this dude seems legit, so I follow you. And I follow like a ton of different fitness related people and accounts.
Yeah.
And yours is always, and not just blowing you up here, but like yours is always the best. You have like the no BS. Here's like some real tips, right? And then your production value is so high. I cannot stress that enough. It's so good. Even when I'm seeing these like short clips, I can tell like the level of like effort that you put into it. Cause I have another like electronics store where I sell stuff and I do social media stuff all day.
Yeah.
So I know how like daunting and draining it is. Dude, like how many Nordic curls do you actually do to get one awesome like video with the right angle and everything,
that's another one of the best things I ever did was actually hire a camera guy or videographer.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah. And like, I guess a lot of people don't know. I mean, I don't even have that many followers, but I have my own cameraman.
Which blows my mind. If you guys seriously on Instagram, go follow Tanner right now. It's at Tanner_Shuck.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
Yeah. Go follow Tanner, guys. He has he'll pay for it. It'll pay for itself because it's free.
Yeah, it will. And I feel like I put out really quality, good content every day, especially on my story. Like even after this podcast, man, I got to update my Instagram story and I got to put out like my workout for the day. And I'm going to put out, helpful tips on like, hey, this is why I'm doing this, and hopefully you learn something from it. So, but I have a cameraman. He's like, dude, he's really like my assistant and I don't know what I'd do without him. But he really helps me a lot. But that was another big deal, man. Like once I started working for myself, I knew, man, if I want people to take me seriously, I have to, give people value, and you got to like be putting stuff on Instagram and putting stuff out there all the time. And if you want people to watch it, dude, it's got to look good. Like the production value's got to be there. So
it's there.
I appreciate that. And I do think it's going to grow and it's going to get better. And I think I put out better content than people with, 100 times or 10 times the followers that I do.
No questions asked.
But I think it's going to pay off, and I just hope people appreciate that. And honestly, Mason, that really means a lot to me. You just noticing. So thank you.
Yeah, no. And I mean, I share your stuff all the time. I mean, like, and it's just like every video just is like, I'm like, it's like dead on with like your mindset stuff. And like, again, your free tips and everything you give out. It's awesome. So I want to try one of your True Strength programs too. So I'm gonna get on that too.
Get on whichever one you want, dude. There's a free trial week on my strength program too. So dude, try it for a week for free.
Hell yeah, I'm all about that.
Yeah.
So what about tell us, I mean, 2020 was a crazy year, I think, for just planet Earth, man. I mean, there
Dude,
was
no
ups and
doubt.
downs for everybody. You were in a totally different part of the world. Tell us your experience about with
So
2020.
it was when COVID hit here in the UAE or Dubai. I mean, shit got real. Like there was like a sense of paranoia in the air. You know, like everyone was just like, fear had like was everywhere.
When did
People
it
were
kind
afraid
of
to cross.
start for you guys? For
It
the US, it was
started
like March.
no, it started March 17th.
He's got
March
that.
17th. I know the day, man, because the gym closed and I was like, oh fuck, man, I can't go work out and I can't do PTs. Like this shit is real serious. And so then that's when basically everyone was put on like lockdown, like you have to stay home, can't do anything. And that was a pretty stressful time because at that time I'd only left my job probably 5 or 6 months before that. And so I was doing PT, and I relied on PT, to make money. And I hadn't gotten as much online stuff going at that time, so that's a little over a year ago now. And that was kind of stressful, man. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like I didn't make a lot of money those 2 months, and that was pretty tough. But luckily, after like a 2 month lockdown, like they kind of eased the restrictions and things started slowly opening back up around June. And since then, it's kind of things have returned more to normal. But dude, like when it hit, it was crazy. And like I basically packed up a bunch of gym equipment and put it in my apartment, and I was working out like literally in a 1 bedroom apartment every day.
I'm sure
And
your
I was just
neighbors love you.
Oh, dude, they hated me for sure. I would be blaring like heavy metal music and like banging plates on the ground. Like I had quite a few complaints, but I
What are you
didn't
gonna
care,
do?
man. I was like,
Yeah,
I have to work out. It's like I had to work out just to maintain my own sanity.
right. So,
Yeah,
so do you have family back in the States?
I do, man. So originally I'm from Tulsa, Oklahoma, and most of my family is in Oklahoma, or yeah, they're in Tulsa or Oklahoma City.
So you've been able to keep a pretty close eye as far as like what's going on here versus like what's going on
I
there.
So I have in a way, but man, in many ways, I'm very I oblivious. I'm oblivious to like what's going on in a lot of places. Like I don't watch the news. I'm
Me
not paying
neither.
attention to what's going on in America, man. Because if you watch the news, dude, it's just a bunch of negative shit.
Uh,
And then a lot of that negativity can kind of creep into your brain. And I really don't like that. And so I'd almost, you ever heard the saying like ignorance is bliss?
yeah, absolutely.
And to a point, I believe that for sure, but to a point you should know, I guess, what's going on around the world and have an idea. But I don't watch the news closely, but I mean I kept up with what was going on in America fairly
But
enough.
would you
It's
would
kind of hard
would,
to not
would you
to.
say that things were kind of at the same level of craziness? I guess. Like, I mean, in terms of
I
like
think maybe
2020,
I think maybe here in Dubai it was even a bit more strict, and I actually feel like the
really.
the United Arab Emirates did a really good job handling the pandemic, overall, because they shut everything down like quite fast, and like everything was closed.
Were you guys like
Everyone was put on lock.
shut down? Like
Dude, pretty
everything
much like
shut down?
yeah, pretty much except like basic stuff like pharmacies and grocery stores and these kind of things. But they all businesses were like completely shut down. You were required to
Really?
be on like home arrest. If you left your apartment, you had to get like a permit, on your phone. You had to apply for a permit to go out and drive your car.
Oh, okay. So yeah, it definitely wasn't like
So
that. It was very gray area here. It was like if you're essential, you can stay open. And it was like,
that's
what's
yeah.
essential, right? And it was like that was the big argument.
Well, the big difference between America and I guess the United Arab Emirates is America is like way, way bigger. And obviously, Americans, dude, we're all very like gung ho about our rights and having the right, freedom of speech and everything. Whereas here in Dubai, it's like most people are expats. They're like not from the United Arab Emirates. And dude, this place is like they kind of rule it with an iron fist, if that makes sense. So it's you kind of have to abide by the rules more so here,
Yep.
and you're not really people aren't going to be like freedom of speech and give me my rights and all that kind
They're
of
like,
stuff
we're
here.
at someone else's playground. We're playing by their
Exact.
rules.
Yeah, no, that's the best way to say it for
Wow.
sure.
No, that's kind of cool. And that's also just not something I expected. Wow.
Yeah. So I thought the United Arab Emirates overall handled the pandemic really well.
Yeah,
You
come to
know,
think, I didn't hear anything like you heard about a lot of countries like mishandling things or just being ignorant
oh
about things.
yeah, yeah,
You never
or
heard
criticized
you
about
never
it.
heard anything about United.
No, no, you don't really hear anything about the UAE. It's a smaller country too, man. You know, it's not. This isn't like the US or the UK where you have a whole lot of people.
Right.
You know, obviously big, well-developed countries, man. Those are that's a nightmare. You know, to try to enforce with government and tell people they have to stay home all the time, and yeah, it'd be really hard.
So would you say 2020 was a positive year for you? Did you see a lot of, because I feel like at least in America, fitness, you couldn't, dude, barbells were on back order for like
Yeah,
5 months. You couldn't buy a shake weight, man.
no, I know for sure. Dumbbells were like just ridiculously overpriced. I
$5 a
saw that for
pound.
sure. Yeah, it was absurd, man, absurd. I think in some ways 2020 was a good year for me. I wouldn't say for fitness in general. I don't know if it was really good for any industry in general, but it did give me more time to kind of focus more like on what I wanted to do online. You know, I was able to write some ebooks. I was able to like get more people on like a strength program, and online training became much more, I guess, popular and essential, you know, because all the gyms are closed. So, you know, people are doing online training now because they're forced to. So, in that regard, I think it was helpful. I think overall, probably not, you know, for me, like I professionally, I think I'll do much better this year than I did last year. You know, if that, you know, I think a lot of people
I
will.
hope
That's going
so.
to go for
Yeah.
any industry. So, in general, man, 2020 was a hard year for everyone, but I some really good things came about it. Like I met my girlfriend out of because of the pandemic, and that I'm really thankful for that. So
Heck
that
yeah.
worked out well. It's yeah, so I always look at things in a positive light. So 2020 for me was definitely a year I'll remember, but it was still a good year overall.
2020 was a crazy year, man. Crazy year.
Certainly was, man. Certainly.
So tell us your kind of like an average day for you. What's it kind of look like from start to finish? All your eating,
Sure.
working out, and programming and whatnot.
Dude, I'll kind of keep it brief, but um luckily I'm really thankful. I have a great life right now. I generally wake up around like 6:30 or 7 a.m. and the first thing I'll do is I'll eat breakfast. As soon as I'm done with breakfast, I'm gonna work out. And it's not like a hard workout, but it's usually generally like a 20 or 30-minute swim or some kind of like workout on my assault bike at home. So I literally have to work out like pretty much the first thing in the morning just to get my mind right for the day. I don't know. I need that endorphin fix. And right after I get my morning workout in, I'll drink some coffee, and then I'll generally do 1 or 2 hours of like programming or responding to emails or, you know, Instagram posts on Instagram, stuff like that. Then around midday, that's generally when I do my main training session. And that's around 12 p.m. And I always have my workout written in advance, like the night before. So I know exactly what I'm doing when I go to the gym. I go in there, knock it out, and then I may do a PT if I have it that day. If not, I'll come home usually around 2 or 3 p.m. and I'll just like try to focus on doing whatever I'm going to do for that day, whether that's making a piece of content, working on my website, writing. I spend a lot of time writing programming because I still do personalized programming for people, as well as my other training programs, my more general training programs. I spend a lot of time writing workouts and thinking about working out, but that's generally my day. And I'll usually work until about 7 or 8 p.m. or until my girlfriend makes me stop. And, and then
She's
I'll
probably
usually,
mad at me right now. Tell her
yeah,
I'm tell her I'm sorry, but it'll be worth it, I think. And
I'll definitely let her know you're sorry after this podcast.
and when you come back to the States, you got to come to Vegas, and we'll smash
Man,
a
I
huge
want
workout.
to.
I'll take you guys out to dinner. I'll buy her whatever she wants. I'll buy her the nicest
All
bottle of
right.
wine we can get. We'll
That's cool, man. Because actually, I've always wanted to go to Vegas, but I've never been. I don't know anybody there.
What, bro? I got you.
Yeah.
I got a full gym in my garage. You can wake up at 3 a.m. and go
Oh, dude.
slam some plates, dude. Like,
That would be amazing, man. I'd be
yeah.
honored. I'll definitely come out. If I ever make it out to Vegas, I'll definitely look you up, Mason.
No, you
100%.
absolutely will, man.
Yeah, that'd be
Um,
super cool.
Dude, well, super cool. Well, I know you've had a long day, so I just want to. We'll wrap up a couple things here. One thing I want to do with you, I do this thing called real talk rapid fire, where I'm gonna ask you a bunch of questions. They're real short, yes or no, real easy, like cats or dogs kind of thing.
I got you, man.
So, where we at here? All right, let's do some real talk rapid fire.
Let's do it, man.
What's the worst job you've ever had?
I was an oil roughneck as soon as I left college. It was actually the worst and best job I ever had because it was a really good learning experience. But I also learned, dude, I was making like $8 or $9 grand a month straight out of college, but I was fucking working for it. And I was like, I quickly realized, all right, this is what I don't want to do. So that's the worst job I ever had by far. I was a roughneck there for a while.
What's the first job you ever had?
The first job I ever had, I was like 15. I worked at a cheerleading gym, like a gymnastics cheerleading gym. my dad got me the job. And
you still got some moves?
Dude, when my knee was healthy, I could do a standing backflip. I can walk on my hands and do a bunch of like kipping gymnastics and kind of stuff like that. But I haven't done a backflip in a while, but my goal is to be able to get back there, hopefully soon.
What was your first car?
My first car was a 1994 Chevy truck, 2-door short bed.
You look like you're from Oklahoma. You've probably like only driven a truck your whole life, I feel like.
Dude, you'd think that. My dad was really cool, man. My dad was the best. So he actually got me my first car, which was a truck. And it was a nice truck. I like for a high school kid, I was lucky. It wasn't the nicest truck, but it wasn't a bad looking truck.
Any car for high school kids, a good car.
Yeah, but then when I went to college, my dad gave me the shittiest car.
What did you get?
I drove a Ford Escort that was like, it was red, but then the driver's side door was painted orange because it was a wreck. And my dad said,
yeah.
My dad wouldn't let me take my truck to college, so he gave me a piece of shit like Ford Escort. And I drove that all through college, but it was either that or no car. So, yeah.
Hey, it makes you appreciate it, though, for sure.
Oh, for sure, man, for sure.
What's your favorite sports team?
Probably the San Francisco 49ers. I find like that's the first one. I'm sorry if you hate me.
We'll just mute that part out.
All right. Sorry.
Are aliens real?
Yes.
Do you like your pizza cut in squares or triangles?
Triangles.
What's your most used emoji?
Probably the high five sign, or like when you're like high fiving someone, or a thumbs up, or also I like the strong, that one.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Are you a call or a text person?
Probably text.
Absolutely. If you had to change your first name, what would you change it to?
Nate.
All right.
Yeah.
How do you like
there's a story behind that. So if you want to hear it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tanner's actually my middle name. Nathan is my legal name on my birth certificate. I never go by Nathan. I just go by Tanner. But if I had to change it, I'd probably just go back to Nathan, but I'd make it Nate for short.
Yeah, you don't look like a Nathan at all. Tanner. Yeah. I get Nathan all the time because I've got like a little lisp sometimes. I'm like Mason, and I'm like Nathan. I'm like, sure. I call me. I'm whoever you want to be.
Dude, I like your name, man. I got a couple cousins named Mason, so it's a good name.
It's a good name, yeah. I got in trouble a lot when I was in high school, so it was pretty easy to spot me out. There's only one Mason, so like.
Yeah, it's not a super common name, so that's good.
How do you like your coffee?
Black.
Hell yeah, man. All right, well, that's all I got for that. Tell us if anybody wants to get in contact with you, they want to sign up for your program, they want to follow you on Instagram, they want to email you, give them the whole spiel, give them your apartment address if they can knock on the door. Just kidding.
Oh, dude, I appreciate it. So probably the best way to get in contact with me is just Instagram. I'm very active on Instagram. I'm on it every day, and I'm putting out content every day.
Dude responds to DMs.
Yeah, I do respond to lots of DMs. I spend too much time on my phone. My girlfriend doesn't like it, but she understands it is what it is. But I have a website, truestrength.co. It's one word, truestrength.co. But like Instagram and my website, the best places, and I have a link tree in my Instagram bio, and that has a YouTube channel.
What's your Instagram?
Anything else? Tanner_Shuck.
just
That's my
how
Instagram.
just how it sounds. If you guys want to go to my page, you can see the people I follow. You'll see him on there. You can follow him. All right, man. Well, I really appreciate you coming on today, man. I know it's getting late there. I just have one more question.
Dude, take your time.
And I ask everybody. Well, not everybody.
You're a really easy guy to talk to, man. This has been a fun podcast.
I appreciate that. Well, actually, I have two questions then. One, have you done any other podcasts? Is this your first podcast you've ever done?
No, this is probably, I think, my third or fourth.
Oh, really?
Definitely
right on.
My third, yeah. So I've done a couple other podcasts, and
because
I always enjoy.
You're good.
Well, dude, you're good. You're it's like I said, you're easy guy to talk to.
It's easy when I have easy guests to work with, honestly. Especially
Thanks.
if me and you could probably talk for like 6 or 7 hours about just like fitness and CrossFit alone.
I'm pretty sure we could, man, for sure. Because you're a fit looking guy yourself, man. So whatever it is you're doing, keep doing it.
I follow this guy Tanner Shuck on Instagram, basically. All right, last question. Will you come back in 100 episodes?
Dude, yeah. Man, if yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I want to check in, see where you're at, see where you've grown, see where everything's gone, man. I want to dig into your story even a little more, man.
Yeah, no, I genuinely appreciate it, man. Like, and I'm definitely gonna follow Real Talk, after this moving forward, man. And I think it's great that you've taken the initiative to make a podcast and do it, because that says a lot about you as a person. And it's just a really good thing, man. And I think you're probably putting out really helpful content that people enjoy and get a lot of value from, man. So make sure you keep doing what you're doing.
Dude, well, I appreciate that as well, man, and that means a lot to me. So, well, again, thank you so much for coming on. Apologize to your girlfriend for me. Tell her I'm sorry I kept it so long, but dude, we'll see you in 100 episodes, and I'll see you on the gram.
Hey, most definitely, Mason. I really appreciate it, man. It was an honor.
Dude, thank you so much.
It's a pleasure. You enjoy, man. Have a wonderful day.
Take care, man.
Thank you very much, man.
All right, man.